I will do it. Mr. Speaker, let me unreservedly say to the clerk to the appointment committee, Mrs. Gifty Jagge Goba, I am sorry.
The Honourable Sam George should retract and other things. I want to use this opportunity. I know that as members of parliament, we are not blind. We all know and can tell who in the parliamentary service, or we have suspicion, could be NDC or an MPP. But we never put that kind of information outside. I know, and you know, that there are members of parliament who have direct relations with people in the parliamentary service. But the point I'm making is that the way by which the minority leader actually dealt with the clerk of the appointment committee, Mr. Speaker, no. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, is it part of the report?
Honourable member. I can tell my colleagues, I just left my job as a whip. Whenever I'm speaking, somebody puts my mic off. I can tell you, I can do that right now. That when you are speaking,
Leader,
I can make sure you are
Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I'm listening to you. Mr. Speaker.
Minister, address me.
Okay.
I wish the issue about the clerk has been addressed by the Speaker. So let's focus on the nominee. And
Mr. Speaker, let me tell you why this issue has to be dealt with. I know the lady and I know the family. They are extremely traumatized. Mr. Speaker, after the minority. All I'm going to say, Mr. Speaker, allow me. All I'm going to say is that give the opportunity to my very good friend, the respected minority leader, to openly apologize to the clerk. Repeatedly, when I speak, they put the mic off. Mr. Speaker, they should not tempt us to do the same thing that when you speak, you cannot be heard. And I can see, Mr. Speaker, there's a colleague, a female colleague on the other side, who I don't want to mention, who has become an expert in that. There's a female colleague on the other side who has become an expert in that. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am just saying that I know the lady. The family is traumatized and they feel that Parliament, and I'm happy with the way Mr. Speaker defended her. Mr. Speaker, I sit here, I say, everybody in Parliament knows which staff is political, NDC or NPP, but we never use that against them. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you the political coloration of the four people sitting there, but that is not my business. So for the minority leader, a very respected leader of this house, to actually lay into the clerk that way, I am saying that for us to look like people who actually care about women, she must actually apologize personally, apologize on the floor. He can decide, Mr. Speaker, he can decide not to do it. But I am just saying that for the trauma the family of the clerk is going through, it will help if he makes some statement here to calm them down that it's not it's not something personal. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I just want to add to what Honourable Haruna said. We have consistently disagreed vehemently in this house, and you being the chair. We speak, and then we leave it there. For the fact that for the first time since I entered this house in 2013, colleagues got so infuriated to the extent of physically destroying tools that have been given to us to work with should never happen again. Not say why? Because I was sitting there. The mic, the console in front of me. The console in front of me, Mr. Speaker. I saw a colleague.
Who said okay?
Honourable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member.
In the parliament.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Please. Mr. Speaker, do you know why I need to talk about this? I have been invited. I've been invited by the committee
Honourable member.
investigating. The leader of the minority side suggests that he was expecting Honourable Sam George to retract some of the things he said about the Chief Justice. He was expecting him to retract things he said about President Akufo-Addo. I am honorably urging my leader that the same principles by which you use to say that you will not support Honourable Sam George, I'm encouraging you, use the same principles and apologize to the clerk in which you lay to and then apologize to her. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, my respected friend and colleague, who is now the Minister of Roads and Highways, in making his contribution, introduced an important matter which arose in the course of our committee hearings. Mr. Speaker, what I'm sure he's not aware is that this matter has been discussed at a very high level in this House. We've had engagement, and I am not a person who would have hesitation where I think I am wrong. I would hide behind my ego to hurt another person. I had assured Mr. Speaker that based on the engagement, I was actually going to make a formal statement here in this House in respect of all the matters. We're all human beings. Maybe somebody, I remember when we were kids, somebody will use their eye to provoke you. But when you hit, it is that which is seen. But we've moved past there. Mr. Speaker, without equivocation, I shall proceed in terms of what my brother said. And he and I have a long relationship. I don't mind he saying that publicly. It is for the good of all of us. Today, I'm 46. Tomorrow, I may be 50, and I will not be the same person. We grow, we learn, we mature. If Kwame is saying that he knows the family, and my Akpo, please, it doesn't mean anything. Please. We've been in this house for some time, I beg you. If Kwame holds a view that he knows the family, my reaction on the conduct of our clerk has resulted in some trauma to the family. He knows the family, I don't know the family. And the lady in question. Let me, Mr. Speaker, unreservedly say, what's her name? I want to mention the name in full. Please. I will do it. Mr. Speaker, let me unreservedly say to the clerk to the appointment committee, Mrs. Gifty Jagger Goba, I am sorry. Let me also say to her husband, Mr. Speaker, she bears Mrs. Let me also say to the husband, the lovely husband, that my comment in respect of internal matter, if as a husband he is traumatized by this, I hereby unreservedly apologize to him as a husband. To the children, let me unreservedly say sorry to the children. Let me unreservedly say sorry to the extended family, those close and disappointment in her conduct. And to all her colleagues in the parliamentary service, including colleagues who felt that I could have managed the matter better. Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry. I again apologize unreservedly, and I know that with all discussions held, we would be able to work better in spite of some reservations that we may have. Mr. Speaker, let me emphasize that even as we were resolving this matter, at least I've had a better approach. This afternoon we met. I had the opportunity of looking at drafts and she making corrections, and relationship has been restored. She and I did not have a bad blood. She knows the relationship, the former relationship I had with her in our work. Except that, Kwame, I have been a majority leader before. I was in that black seat. You were here opposite. The standard she held in respect of dealings between the majority and the minority leader was what perhaps compelled my reaction. Because, please, colleagues, a man must be heard. Please. A man must be heard. Please, please, please. She held us to such a high standard, and I felt that the same treatment could come from her whilst we are in minority. But that notwithstanding, I concede that there is always a better way to react to a situation. And I will not allow ego to direct me on what to do, especially when she's a woman. I unreservedly, one more time, withdraw this, and I would write a personal letter to her to keep for her records from the bottom of my heart. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.